Hey guys, so what is it that you really want? I know a lot of people ask that question, and it's really, really important to know what it is you want in life, whether it's business, career, relationships, family, friends, whatever it is. It's important to know what you want. And so, for my friend, he was going to step in here. I know what he wants. He wants more time with his daughter, Jessica. And he knows that's what he wants, and he knows what kind of life he has to live to get there. I'm not going to get into the story of what that is. However, he knows. And it's important for us to know what it is we want. Some people talk about vision boards, some people talk about vision binders, or, I do visualizing on a daily basis to think about and imagine what I want. And it's also important to do that visualization so that when you know what you want, but you got to figure that out first. Because when you know what you want and you want it bad enough, the how shows up. So my friend Chris Dorris, he talks about this. The how is in the what. The what is it you really want, the how will show up. Steve Chandler, and I don't remember which book, I've read so many of his, which one he talks about this in, but he was talking to a client who said she wanted to be a public speaker. And he's like, no, you don't. And she's like, what do you mean? Because if you wanted to be a public speaker, you would be a public speaker. Because if you want something bad enough, the how shows up. How to do it will show up. Or you'll find how to do it. Whether it's Googling it, whether it's ChatGPT, Perplexity, whatever it is, you will find a way. So now ask yourself, do you know what you really want? And if you don't, what's keeping you from that? Well, things are pretty rough right now, and so, it's hard for me to visualize. No, that is a horrible cop-out. Horrible cop-out. So you guys will see it in a few days here, probably before the weekend. I just recorded a podcast episode with Sir Richard the Lionheart Lonsbury. And this is a man. This is a man who knows what he wants. Knows what he wants as a man. Knows what he wants in a relationship. Knows what he wants in a business. And this is a man who, even at rock bottom, which, by the way, until you listen to this episode, you don't know really what that is, still knew what he wanted. And he's getting it. And as he'll talk about in that episode, he's still got a ways to go, as do I, as do many of us, to get what we really want. But knowing it is first and foremost. When you know what you want, then you can find the how. But if you don't really know what you want, the how isn't there. You're like, oh, I want a big house. Do you really want a big house? Can you visualize it? Can you see what it looks like? Can you imagine what it's like to walk through that front door, to pull up into the driveway, walk through that front door, picture the kitchen, picture the bedrooms, picture the living room, whatever? If not, then you don't want it bad enough. Jim Rohn talks about it in some of his audios. He talks about how his mentor, Earl Shoaff, says to him, I don't think you have enough wants. He's like, what do you mean? Because if you had enough wants, you'd figure out the hows on how to get there. And it's the truth. And we all struggle with this. I still struggle with this. What is it I really want? And it goes back and forth. I love everything that I do, but what is it that I really want to get to? I love coaching. I love leading people. I love doing all this stuff. I love my family. I love all this, but what is it I really want? Now, I know that answer for me. And that answer is constantly changing. However, what is it for you? What is it you really want in life? Think about that. Think about what it is you really want. Sit with that. Write it out, for crying out loud. Write out, here's the top 10 things I want in my life. It can be materialistic. It can be family. It can be career. It can be business. It can be whatever. And write them out. And then prioritize them. Okay, I wrote them out in this order, but really this one should be number 1. This one should be number 2. This one should be number 3, and put them in priority order. And go, here's number 1. What's it going to take for me to get that? How? Google it. Ask ChatGPT. Ask Perplexity. Ask whatever. Ask a colleague. Ask somebody who's there. For crying out loud, ask somebody who's already where you want to be as far as what you want. When you know what you want. Because the best way to help you grow is to surround yourself with people who have what you want or look like they have what you want. I really didn't want to go on a big rant today, but I wanted to give you that today. So figure out what it is you want, and the how will show up. The how is in the what. That's what I got for you. Always remember, never forget to be schmaltzy, my friends. Take care. Awesome. So